An agent has left your group.
Martial law in effect. Anybody walking the streets after curfew will be treated as a hostile.
Serious trauma detected. Agent down. Rogue agent neutralized.
Then obey.
You know who the fuck I am. Hoodoo right out the dark side, definition of thug. Murder motivated by dead homies, I am bound by blood. Lay you down in mud, then I beat from the scene. Took you to hell, then I vanished for you was able to scream. I'm a traveling freak show with avalanche street flow. They ignite me with C4, I survive like a cheat code. Now I'm in beast mode, here to hold down the throne. Prepared to break niggas' bones and leave them by headstones. How could I be dead wrong if I'm still alive, right? My enemy's dead and gone and I'm in the limelight. You say you a psycho, I see through you like plastic without no warning or reason. I'm at your dome with the hatchet. Yeah, we do it for fun and for the love of this. You try and run, leave you in a puddle of piss, blood and shit. I'm with the graveyard gang and we back on our shift. They all deadly like the strain and I'm revenge of the sip. We tell them it's murder, murder, leave your body at the cemetery.
Fool! Oh, I do think sure was shit.
Thus, fool! Case now. Fool! You understand nothing.
And we are not your ordinary. It's murder, murder, leave your body at the cemetery.
So I think right about here is where the guy finally realizes that he's got the Sandman debuff on him from the lullaby. But by then, as you can see, it's way too late. And he tries to take off and I finish him. You know, aim was hella bad on that. That guy just tried to gank me out of nowhere. I was jumping around servers because the server I was on was dead, and I happened to join a group and he was in it. I mean, I know the other guy that was in my group shot him up a little bit, but he basically did nothing if you go back and look at it. But yeah, so we're going to get to the build. I hope you like the content, and if any time you're entertained or like anything you see on my channel, go ahead and hit that like button and feel free to subscribe. Thanks. Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. It's your favorite scrub rogue, DZ, and I got a build video for you today. Now, I know people have been putting out build videos like this. To be honest with you, I haven't quite seen one that is like this. I mean, obviously it's similar weapons and so on. But yeah, so this is my take on it, and you can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. You can be salty. I don't even care. You probably get a little bit of salt from this anyway. The meta is changing, and sometimes you just gotta flow with it to combat it. You know, if you want to be effective, you just gotta roll with it. Alright, so let's get into the build. Obviously, stats can always be better, so on and so on. Now, when I originally put this build together, actually, the PvP footage from the beginning, before the intro, is of the build before. Exact same gear pieces, different weapons. When I put it together at first, I was running a LMG Black Market, Unhinged, Allegro Recharged. It obviously had more base damage than that because I was spec'd into it. And I was using the Lullaby Shotgun, which if you look at it compared to the double barrel, it out damages it by quite a bit. The only problem is the double barrel has premeditated, which makes all the difference. Then again, the Sweet Dreams is pretty good, you know, landing a melee attack after swapping, grants 35% armor for 5 seconds, and then that Sandman debuff is great for PvP. Stops people from healing, especially the way they like to heal and dance around and try to take advantage of the situation. honestly, in a full man group, 4-man group, even like a 3-man, PvP situation, I might even pull this setup out with backup. It's just solo, running into multiple people and stuff. You kind of have to roll with the double barrel setup. But it is what it is. So, the way I've been running it since I made the few tweaks, Eagle Bear, Eagle Strike, Tenacity, Protected Fire, all that good stuff. By now you should somewhat be acquainted with the Eagle Bear, at least what it does. There's so much gameplay and footage out there of it now. And then I'm rocking this double barrel right here. Got premeditated. Weapon damage is increased for every shell loaded to a max of 35%. If all shells are reloaded, then the weapon damage is increased by additional 50%. And then optimal range and double duty. While holstered, reloading from empty gives you a 20% of your magazine back as free ammo. It's nice. I mean, like, I'm not running around using the shotgun exclusively. I definitely switch between both weapons. So getting the holster talent from the double barrel definitely is nice with the Eagle. And the gunner pistol, because it has protected reload in the middle and greased, as well as optimist. I mean, it was a nice little tweak that they did with the changes to the pistols. I really dig that. Makes them more effective, more useful. I am running the gunner specialization. Obviously, you can run whatever specialization you want. Whatever you're comfortable with, but this is just the one I've been running lately. Rocking a True Patriot mask, decent armor roll, 8.5 chance, 8.5 health % roll on there, and then a True Patriot backpack. Kind of low armor roll, but 10.5 weapon damage on there, courtesy of the clan vendor a few weeks ago. Close to 15k armor, close to 16k health. And I have defensive system mending, armor, health regen, 2.5 total armor. I decided to go with the 2-piece True Patriot for the 10% damage to armor. It's very nice, works really well, synergizes well with everything else. Now you would say, well, how come you're not using a regular backpack with 2 backpack talents? It's just a decision, like normally I run on the ropes with most of my other setups. And because I have Berserk in this setup, I'm unable to really hit that cap mark. I wanted to be tanky. I wanted to have, as much armor as possible still with it. So that's why I went with what I went with. I'm running a Overlord chest piece, 12.5 weapon damage roll, 10.5 chance, almost 12k armor with Berserk, 10% weapon damage for every 20% of my max armor that's depleted, and it requires a shotgun, SMG, or assault rifle. That's also another reason I switched to the Eagle and the double barrel, is because with the Lullaby and the LMG, obviously if I'm not using my shotgun, I'm not gaining anything from the Berserk. So this way, I'm always gaining something from the Berserk, regardless of which weapon I have drawn. Offensive mod slot with 1.5 weapon damage, 4% shotgun damage, 2% SMG damage. In the defensive slot, I got over 4k armor, 2% explosive resistance, and 4% total armor. Now, obviously, we're not running a rifle, so the first 2-piece bonus of the Overlord setup is a little bit of a waste. Like I said, I was going for armor, so I equipped 2 pieces to be able to get the 2-piece brand set bonus for Overlord, the 7.5% total armor. Now, if you look at the gloves, I didn't have ones with AR damage and shotgun damage. If I ever do get some here, I will set it up like that. I just have that from running, like I said, the LMG with the shotgun before. So 3% LMG damage, 10% shotgun damage. Now I rolled 12% gloves over to this. but it forced me to cap it out at 10%. I almost didn't do it, but like I said, I really wanted that 2-piece brand set bonus from Overlord, so I went ahead and did it anyway. And in the past, I haven't had a hard time finding God roll 12% shotgun gloves. I've gotten rid of more pairs than I've needed. For the talent on the gloves, running devastating, 5% weapon damage. And got a pretty nice armor roll on the gloves as well, the 23.2. For the holster, I'm running D&H. I mean, the accuracy really isn't that important. Doesn't really affect the shotgun. I went for this so that I could have that skill power, because if you're looking at this, pretty much 31k armor, or rolled skill power up to 809 on the piece, and then I have devastating for the 5% weapon damage, and then modded I have 57 skill power with 292 pulse skill power, 319 chem launcher skill power. It's for the chem launcher, basically, because we wanted to get a little bit of healing. We don't want to be incapable of taking care of ourselves. Gila, for the knee pads, have the 5% total armor, then 12% roll on it, 29.5k armor on the knee pads with patience. If I could get rid of patience, I would. The only problem is, like, for some reason, I end up using the same knee pads with almost every build, and with half my builds, patience is what I want, and with the other half, it isn't. So maybe eventually I need to get another pair of knee pads and roll with them instead. I would like to have cloaked. It would come in handy. I don't even have a pair with cloaked. I mean, I do in my stash, but for the mods, I have 2.264 armor, 3.5% total armor with 12% health regen. Defensive mod slot, pretty much 3200 armor, 4.5% total armor, and 3% explosive resistance. I'm running a drone and a chem launcher. You don't have to run these skills. You run whatever you want. The whole build is subjective. I mean, I'm just showing you what I'm doing, what I like. You can do it any way you want. I actually want to put together this setup, maybe like alter my bloodsucker setup to use the shotgun with the eagle with that too, and try that out. Sounds pretty interesting. I mean, when you hit someone with a double barrel, most of the time you take all their armor, so it's just going to be feeding the bloodsucker. A good skill to use if you weren't going to use the drone that's pretty popular right now in PvP is the Restorer Hive. I don't really have the best mods for it, so I haven't been using it. And I just feel like I get a little more oomph from the drone, not to mention it's mobile and it moves with me. For the mods on the drone, I have 11.9 health, 12.7 health, and then that 12.2% isn't active, the armor repair. Obviously I only have 2 electronics with the build, and we were trying to beef up our chem launcher healing. So for our chem launcher, if I open this, I'm allowed almost 2100 skill power because of the battery. Got a 906 auxiliary battery, and then I have a pharmacokinetic enhancer giving me 30.7% heal. Yeah, but that's the build pretty much, guys. Like I said, group play, lullaby LMG setup, but at the same time I feel like it's a shame to just let the eagle sit on the shelf, and it still works so good. Trying to get the most synergy, the most use out of everything, as I am running Berserk, I don't want to be running around with an LMG not getting any effects from my chest talent, because your chest talent is a big deal. if not talents, on your chest, depending on what kind of setup you're running. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Peace.